Hello, my name is Nick Juan, and I'm a minister's assistant at the Monterey Peninsula Buddhist Temple. At the request of my mentor, Reverend J. Shinseki, I will be giving a short message. But before I do so, I would like to say that I hope my message meets you in good health and that you are protecting yourself to the best of your abilities from the COVID-19 virus. With palms joined, Gasho. Gathas in praise of Amida Buddha states, "May the compassionate light protect me and keep me from losing the mind aspiring for enlightenment. I praise the voice of the Buddha's wisdom and virtue. May all the beings in the 10 quarters having ties to the teaching be brought to hear it. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu." Again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to my short message. I know there are many of you out there, like myself, who are experiencing a bit of cabin fever due to the COVID-19 shelter-in-place order. There is no doubt that everyone out there is having to adjust to this new way of life. Our usual day-to-day routine has been interrupted by this pandemic, which to many can be very unsettling. Though, as unsettling as this may be, we must accept this new reality we live in. It is human nature to want to dwell on the negative, and in times of stress, we worry about the future. As Buddhists, one of the most important things for us to remember is that worrying about the future of this pandemic will do us no good. Worrying will just invite fear into our lives and to those we share it with. And if we do that, that fear can turn into panic. So instead, we must turn ourselves to the Buddha Dharma. With such teachings, we are able to turn to the truth of Namo Amida Butsu. And that means we are focusing our minds to the present moment. We are engaging ourselves in the here and the now. With this in mind, we are able to focus on being responsible and aware of our actions and how it affects others. Washing our hands, maintaining safe distances, being compassionate by lending a helping hand to those most at risk, and not hoarding necessities so that others may have access as well. We can beat fear with compassion and understanding that everyone is going through this, and some harder than others. So the people we interact with outside the home, our demeanor as Buddhists will rub off and hopefully inspire the pass it on mentality. We should reach out to others such as family and friends who we may not have seen in many weeks and share our optimism rather than fears in hopes that it will help start a chain effect to combat the negative that surrounds us daily through the media. Though we have a lot to be thankful for, please keep in mind that this is not an isolated incident in time, and many things like this happen around the world quite often. It has just hit home this time around, and rather than across the world and away from us. There are those living on this earth that are experiencing a life as the Buddha and Shinran Shonin had lived. Many people on this world are living in a COVID pandemic world, a war zone world, a starvation and poverty world all at once. To those I'm addressing over video feed, we are lucky to have been born to access such comforts. Since we are in a fortunate situation, that allows us to contemplate our lives in the peace of our homes. It gives us the time to contemplate the Buddha's wisdom. How fortunate are we for Sakyamuni Buddha to have expounded the teachings to his followers. How fortunate we are for Master Honin and Shinran Shonin for having expounded the teachings of the Nembutsu to his followers. And how fortunate we are for our senseis who continue to expound the teaching to us, laymen and women today. Please take heart in this time of uncertainty that this pandemic will pass eventually. This will undoubtedly change many people going forward when it comes to mindfulness, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. It invites us to practice more closely the Buddha Dharma. This pandemic has also awoken people to understand that all of our lives are interconnected. What has happened thousands of miles away has reached us here across the world. It has shown us that we are all essential in the world we live in and contribute to. Though we all live our own unique lifestyles, this pandemic has shown us that we are in fact not truly isolated and that we all belong to the universal oneness. And that universal oneness is Namo Amida Butsu. Will you please join me in Gasho? My life is fleeting and finite, and I do not know with certitude what tomorrow has in store for me. But in the transitory boundaries of my existence is the timeless flow of Amida's life. In the finite sound of my Nembutsu is Amida's voice of compassion, tirelessly calling me. And like a small stream that enters the mighty current of the great river, so does my insignificant life. In the Nembutsu, join the majestic flow of Amida's infinite life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.